second with 3 wins, 3 losses, followed by Emosaru with 2 wins, 1 loss. And then we have iamtheschwarz and Ninja tied at 1 win, 2 losses. So iamtheschwarz has played quite a few games fewer than saltyphry, so can definitely pick up some wins.
Yeah, absolutely. You just got to think, though, when you know, these standings are still early. Everyone has to play 15 games, but you're like, man, they keep winning. You know, what's going to stop them? Looks like we got an early map check, too. That looked like a 5-6 crystal at Hera, then pendants at Eastern and Desert. But that was a really quick map check, so I might have missed it.
No, I agree, and I also saw green pendant over in Eastern.
Oh, even better. I didn't catch that. It was too fast.
Well, I think I know what Uncle's gonna have today.
How did you know? You got the spoiler logs, man? We're not supposed to have those.
Maybe. I may or may not have inside information about the current ongoing business in the world of Hyrule.
I bet these runners, too, probably have some inside information, too. Say, like, if you asked them in person right now, they'd probably know all the stuff they got 20 minutes ago, but, you know, that's a different story.
Well, I may or may not be wrong on certain pendants, but we'll find that out in due time. This is all dungeons after all, so even map checks in general aren't that common here.
Oh, right, that's a very good point. That little crystal and pendant icon that you see at the top of your screen, that means it's going to be an all dungeon seed, so they have to gather all 3 pendants, get all 7 crystals. They have to kill Aga 1. They also have to kill Aga 2 per usual, and then, and only then, will they be able to kill Ganon.
Yeah, so it's a pretty regular seed in that regard, except you have to get those pendants as well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, in my experience in Randomizer, you're probably going to be doing all the pendants anyways, but the Aga 1, that's really the weird one that, you know, you can kind of forget about, but a lot of people like to save that till last. You just mirror and do it at the end. What really puts an interesting wrinkle on all dungeons opposed to your normal Ganon goals is this: if you have progression to finish your pendant dungeons in Ganon's Tower. That's what always makes these really interesting.
Yeah, that is definitely the weird thing that may come about. You can definitely turn the seed a little bit upside down.
Yeah, if you have an early big key in Ganon's Tower, but, you know, you don't have the progression, but your opponent found the progression in some, you know, out-of-the-way, off-world, overworld check, you can lose a lot of time clearing Ganon's Tower. But, you know, they might be in Ganon's Tower just to begin with. I mean, the odds are there, so... Always really fun to watch these, and they got a really nice bomb drop in that last chest. Forgot to mention, that's really nice because they don't have to farm for them now.
We'll always want those bombs and rupees heading into Kakariko, as is heading to the past after all. Kakariko first, still the way to go most of the time.
Yeah. Nice too. 3's like the perfect number. You get 1 to use for the wall in the back, and then you get the next 2 to use for Blind's Hut and the Kakariko Well. If you didn't find one on the way, by the time you get there to the chicken house, there's a bomb shop right next door, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, they will need to find hopefully 1 more since they want to check that back of escape. In addition to that, you would also want 100 rupees for the ball merchant, but you can easily get 50 on the way there, so shouldn't be any problem here.
Yeah. I'd imagine we'll probably see a pretty standard opening from them. Any divergence, maybe you'll see 1 check Lumberjack, maybe 1 will opt to skip it, you know, a little bit later till they get the boots, but kind of how these seeds work with the standard openings. Everyone's pretty much going to be doing, for the most part, the same thing for about the first, you know, 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's quite rare to see players deciding to make any deviation in the early stages, and at this point, with only a sword in hand, I really can't imagine them going anywhere else.
Yeah.
Early bows, of course, Eastern may be on the map.
I think we're going to still have 3 more items here in Escape. We'll see if it gives you any other stories of where to go, but yeah, they'll probably be going to Kakariko.
And while there have been attempts to try and not go Kakariko first, it seems, at least to me, that this version of the logic tends to put some more stuff there.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. It really likes to spread things out a lot more. You know, usually get go mode for, you know, the last half of that dungeon you've already been inside and checked all the chests of, but it definitely makes it a lot more fun. You get to see a lot more of the game.
And something else that has been something I've noticed, and also a couple of other players, is that it seems to often be mitts for go mode instead of hammer.
Mitts for go mode?
I mean Dark World. My bad.
Oh, for Dark World. You know what? I will attest to that as well. I can agree. And as we're getting already our first glove here, you got to be thinking, man, do you actually have that spoiler log? Because we're just, you know, one glove away from you being correct here.
I mean, I've been accused of being a witch too many times. It could go Death Mountain at this point, but without any way of checking more than 2 items, it doesn't seem very probable.
You know, I actually think Death Mountain would be a really good play here. You kind of get it along the way. Just go ahead and get your save and quit spot, check your hint, and then you can actually elect to do South Shore before Kakariko in case there's, you know, any items that would make your trip to Kakariko a little bit better. But routes are routes, you know. There's always going to be a route that's better than the other until, you know, you have that ultimate route. And it's kind of hard to get that one, so...
And there's often this talk about wanting to avoid double-dipping dungeons, but sometimes you end up double, tripping, or even quad-dipping Kakariko because of Sick Kid and the library and activating the flute and entering the Dark World and yada yada yada.
Exactly, but it's just also really hard to turn away such a high, dense location where, you know, all those items that you need to be, you know, doing all that stuff might just be sitting there waiting for you.
Yeah, you never know, that is rando. And you see a very nice bomb pull here from the tree.
And none of them are electing to check Lumberjack early. Makes sense, to be honest. I feel like it's kind of a waste of time, really just depends, and they're going to be doing AGA 1 anyways.
Yeah, it seems like here in all dungeons, since you are doing AGA 1 regardless, just disregard it for now. If you get boots later, because Desert has to be done regardless, and on the torch in Ganon's Tower because of boot shenanigans, you know.
Well, here we are, as expected, perfectly synced up. Let's see what awesome items Kakariko has in store. I think something really fun would be like, say, that other glove and the Moon Pearl, and then you have the option just to go right into the Dark World right at the beginning of the game. Those seeds are always really fun.
It really opens up the entire map for you and makes it quite tricky to know how you want to go about it. But this is early flippers and book.
Oh my, flippers and the book. Well,
that certainly opens some things up, both Desert, the entire Sora area, with Hobo.
Yeah, at least one chest inside Desert Palace. That book will also give us the Desert Ledge. But yeah, the flippers kind of put all the water stuff into logic too. Those 3 chests, Hobo and the 2 chests on the waterfall, Amzor Ledge.
Now they can't clear Desert since they will need a fire source for that, and maybe the boots as earlier stated.
Interesting backwards bomb strats by Schwarz. I don't think I've seen that one before.
RNG manipulation.
Oh, that's a good idea. I never considered that.
I do see him picking up a couple of extra rupees here, maybe preparing for a Sora visit.
Yeah, with those flippers in hand, that's definitely going to be something that's, you know, in the back of their mind, thinking, man, if I want to go do all this stuff, I need to figure out a way to get money so I can do it all together.
Well, the bottle merchant got some practice from Sora.
Ooh, nice chicken clip there from Schwarz. Don't see that one that often anymore due to possible soft locks.
Yeah, I've seen that happen.
Yeah, you gotta pick up and throw those chickens at your own risk.
I mean, I remember last year's spring tournament, everyone did it, and now it's quite rare to see people do it.
Well, I think the funny thing is, I bet everybody used to do it until that one time they soft locked and they were like, I'm never doing this again.
That sounds very probable. We got a book and flippers. useful items, but not really what they truly want at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have options available, but it's like, you know, which way do I go? The book's all the way to the, you know, bottom left corner of the map. The flipper stuff's all the way in the bottom of the right. You know, one of them's got to be right or wrong. Oh, that's such a mean place to put a bottle right after you walk by Sick Kid.
This is a very long trip to Kakariko. Like we just left Kakariko, now we're just gonna walk right back in.
Yeah, they're gonna do all this for Big 20 too. I can feel it.
Oh yeah.
But you don't want to be leaving anything behind.
I mean, this could be the first bottle in a very long time. You don't know.
This is a hype race game. I mean, this is a photo finish. They both tied.
Unreal. Oh, and Swat's actually leaving. He's not gonna check on Sick Kid right now.
I don't mind that play at all. He's kind of expecting that he'll find something that's going to bring him back to Kakariko, so he can go ahead and do it then. But, you know, if Salty finds something really important here that Schwarz has to come back to later, it might be, you know, Schwarz's one of his last locations before he decides to come back.
The important 20 rupees.
Oh, well, just 10 arrows.
It's even less valuable than the rupees at this point. That's a funny bottle right there.
See, now that's going to be waiting on the back of your mind. Well, I guess, you know what, I'll skip Sick Kid, maybe check it later, and then the next item you find is a bottle. You're like, man, is this seed really telling me to go back?
We're gonna have all 4 bottles in 20 minutes or something. I mean, it's a free green potion, why not? Will Swaz pick up the 20s? No.
A little surprised by that. He knows he might need the money, but, you know, I guess if you don't think you're going to check Zora until you get that 300 drop anyways, might as well leave it. But a Houlihan will not get him to Zora money as it sits right now, but if they keep dropping big 20s the way that they do, he'll be just fine.
Yeah, they may have flippers, but they do have gloves, so they can set up the Houlihan if so need be.
Ooh, there's a hook shot.
I'm starting to like that Death Mountain at this point.
Yeah, Death Mountain, a lot of items open to him. Still just a sequence break, but that's only if you actually care about the logic. The game wouldn't force you to go into dark rooms, so that climb up Death Mountain where you rescue the old man is actually in the dark, so if they wanted you to logically do that, you would need a lamp, or they could give you the flute just to bypass that whole sequence entirely.
Well, we'll be checking out the Zora region, and after that it's Sahasrara Eastern if nothing else gonna have anything.
Yeah, we got that. We got the flipper spots too, but yeah, it's getting really interesting. Really starting to think that there might be something kind of important hanging out in those flipper spots, or maybe something over in Desert Palace.
Well, that's where the seed is pointing them at this point. And there's those who swear by the sphere logic. You get an item and it opens up locations, better go there immediately, because it's gonna have something.
Schwarz is leaving the Ice Rod Cave, so we'll see what he elects to do here. I imagine he'll check the hobo, but he is setting himself up for orphaning a location really early. Oh, that Zora bonked him right into the whirlpool. Hey, you want to go to Death Mountain instead? You know what? Fine, I'll do it. I have no idea if that was intentional or not.
You know, I don't care if that's intentional or not, because this is some really cool routing, because...
It might have been 100% intentional.
Or it's just, I get teleported here. Let's just continue like this instead. I can do Zora later.
Hey, I like it.
Yeah, I'm 100% behind this.
That was probably a lot faster, too, than saving and quitting at Sanctuary and walking all the way over, so it was definitely the way to do it.
Yeah, I think you're right. So how long does it take then from Link's house to get to Hobo, if we compare from going from Ice Rod Cave?
I believe they're pretty much the same.
Were you watching the new meta here, right before our very eyes?
I don't think it's too much of a difference. I think I once timed it. If anything, it may be a second or two in the other's favor, but, you know, movement and all of that will change everything, too, if crabs get in your way or if, you know, your swimming's not on point. So it's really not too big of a difference, I don't believe. Hey, there's a third bottle. You might have been right about those 4 bottles.
Oh, dear. Well, the thing is that these kind of routing choices that you saw Swats do there, because of how uncommon it is to see this very situation, I don't really think there's been any proper testing done, and we may never get the kind of testing done anyway.
Oh, just of the distances? There's a lot of people that have been really into that in the community. You'd be really surprised how methodical people have been about, you know, certain routes based on certain situations, what's faster, what's not. They have done a lot of work in timing all of those things.
I mean, nothing surprises me about the rando community, but if it's been timed, I'd very much like to see the timing on that.
Hey, there's a fire rod over in Zora.
This is a great item that may allow them to beat Desert.
Yeah, still a chance it could be boot locked, but man, you gotta be thinking, oh, fire rod, glove, book? Where do you want me to go, game?
Desert, maybe?
Oh, but there's a bow in Paradox Cave, even more interesting.
That is locked behind lamp or flute, though. I mean, we could see a lot of deviation here now because of this.
I think you're right. You know, in Salty's situation right now, because he went over to Zora and got his fire rod, Desert looks like a more viable option, but in Swords, you know, the eastern area looks really odd for him.
Salty is heading over here to the eastern area.
Okay. Probably still wondering where the other pieces to his Dark World access are. And you would really hate to go all the way to Desert just to find out that it's boot locked, but...
Yeah, that's most likely the case here for Salty. It could also be that he's the kind of player who has a very specific route that he always does in the early game, regardless of what.
Yeah, if we were right about that green pendant being at Eastern, Squirts can just, you know, go finish Eastern and then turn in the green pendant and check the closet all in one go, so that'd be really efficient routing for him. Something important to note about Schwarz, and I really doubt that we'll see this from saltyphry, but he skipped the hint over in Paradox Cave, so if there's any useful information there, he probably will not be getting it this run.
And we'll see, because saltyphry is heading up to Death Mountain. So I guess he may just be very concerned about the potential boot situation over in Desert.
Yeah, it's kind of... It's such a long hike over there just to, you know, get the compass in the first chest, and then you gotta walk all the way back.
And then you check a gene and you get a piece of heart and time. Goodbye, time. It was nice knowing you.
Interesting. Schwartz is checking these 3 chests first. Hope you were right about that green pendant being over at Eastern.
I can't remember who it was that checked the map, because only one of them did it.
I think it was Schwarz.
I mean, I must say, as a commentator, I may sometimes be wrong on things.
No. Well, we'll blame somebody else. Never blame yourself. Don't show any weakness. We'll find someone else to put it on. But,
who made the seed? Who made the seed?
Exactly, there we go.
Okay, we'll blame VTorque. That's the usual thing, right?
Yeah, you know what? I can get by that.
I never said that, by the way.
So, to no surprise here, with the bow in hand, Swarz is going to head over to finish up this mystery pendant dungeon being Eastern Palace. We're going to, you know, we'll just say it's randomized on creation. That'll be good for us. And now we get to see what this hint is on saltyphry's side.
Is it a useful hint? Oh.
It's not an unuseful hint. To be honest, man, if Swords had like the hammer or something, when you'd went over there, you'd be kind of tempted not to go over to Hera because you know that it would be fire locked.
Yeah, definitely. But by the way of the logic, you would have Fire Rod going into Tower of Hera in the first place.
Right, but he doesn't have it. He'd be really confused. And we don't know if we have a flute just hanging out somewhere either.
Yeah, where is the flute? Where is the lamp? And where's the Dark World access? Still only gloves. Swazir is gonna do a major sequence break here, no lamp, and of course the bow being out of sequence for this Eastern play.
Yeah, but that's alright. It's an all dungeon seed, and at least he knows that the first, 4 chest here could have something, so... If you find your lamp in the, say the big chest of Eastern Palace, we're back on track. Alright, so notice that hint there had some green text and a funny little link face on it. Those are actually joke hints. They don't mean anything, so whenever you see them looking like that, you can just dip. Hey, there's a Master Sword.
I'm not sure how happy you are to see that, since they don't have Dark World access, and Aga 1 for Dark World access is still on the table, even though you still have to do Aga 1, but it's still Aga 1.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
It's Aga 1.
Yeah, but you gotta do it anyways. Sometimes doing Aga 1 and a seed, say if you didn't have the mitts, or if you did have the mitts but didn't have the hammer for your Dark World access, doing Aga 1 just to kind of give you some extra portal locations to get to the Dark World, opposed to having to walk all the way over from Skull Woods portal. I mean, it could actually save you a little bit of time.
I must say that's the first one I've ever heard anyone advocate for Aga 1 after Dark World access. Everything has to be a first
terrible
one, though.
It's only terrible in seeds that, don't require you to do Aga 1 to beat it to begin with.
And Swaltz knows that you can actually use the hook shot to drag yourself to hidden tiles. Not a lot of people know that.
Yeah, really surprising that, you can hook shot onto those. If that stupid item wasn't in the way in Paradox Cave, you could actually, I think, hook shot across the gap to grab the hint tile. But because that item's there, you can't do it.
Paradox Cave?
Spectacle Rock Cave? The hint tile?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, the item sits right in front of it, so that's actually why you can't hook shot across that gap and grab the hint tile.
Yeah, because hitboxes are a thing in this game. Is Saltyphry gonna go east or southwest? Well, Salt's going east.
Yeah, he got his bow. He's gonna finish Eastern too, just in case you find some pocket boots over here in Eastern Palace, just to make your desert trip, not 100% inefficient. But with what we know right now, it looks like Zora or the desert area is gonna be our next piece of progression. We're just missing that arrow. We're gonna have to wait one more cycle on the Igor.
Yeah, we are running out of locations at this point, but first we're gonna watch this Armos fight.
Set it up here the old school Ice Armos way. Just a little bit slower than your traditional quick kill, but a little bit easier too. And Eastern didn't have anything but the red pendant there. So
the green pendant is in desert then. Or I'm just super blind, because I can be blind. But it did have the masked sword, but it's a sword,
Oh no, the sword's always good to have. I mean, just having that before they went over to Lamola will make it that much easier. But Swords actually can't do desert because he doesn't have that fire rod yet, so it would be in his better interest to go ahead and make that trip over to the Zora area. And he's short just $10 to make it a.
So, if he wants to guarantee this visit over to Zora, there is that one rock on the way you can lift up to get some rupees.
Yeah. Or he could have just killed things. We know that big 20s are pretty prevalent in the pool. This is gonna hurt him a little bit because, well, we could find both the items not fire locked in desert, and that would be fine for him.
He's taking a rock. He may be feeling a little bit sad he didn't pick up the 20 rupees from the dam.
Yeah. This is a pretty bold play, though, to not follow up any of the flipper stuff and head over to the desert area.
He really doesn't want to leave that Sora, just in case. I mean, if Lamp is here...
I'm not sure what we're gonna find over here. I would imagine we're probably gonna find, like... I have no clue. Maybe the Moon Pearl and the lamp? I'm not sure. I would say the Moon Pearl is probably in desert. Outside of that, what are we gonna get next? The glove or the lamp? Hey, there's the ice rod.
Well, early ice rod, you say? Early double rod? But there can't really be that many items, because even if you just get one item, how much will that even unlock in the first place?
Yeah, we're definitely needing a pair of items to move forward in this seed. I don't think any one item really is gonna unlock much for them. And we have the maximum of 3 items there. That's powder, which doesn't do anything.
No, they need a hammer for that at this point. Well, they can find hammer here, and then the bat has Moon Pearl? That sounds awful.
Well, for Schwartz's case here, I really hope that there's just an item here in this first chest and nothing else, because what he's looking for is going to be on Landmo. He's going to have to make another trip all the way back over here after he gets that fire rod. And
no way!
Lucky for him that it is an item, so...
Okay, this is actually pretty interesting, since he can... He's not even gonna check the torch, he knows there's a key there. But he can just take a whirlpool from the dam up, deliver the mushroom, and then just walk to Sora.
Yeah, that's actually really convenient for him, now that you say it. So, he's actually a little bit smarter than we thought there. I never would have considered that sequence would have worked out for you. But yeah, go ahead and take that whirlpool just south of Link's house, turn in the mushroom, and then waltz right on over to Zora.
The only issue is that he hasn't checked Hobo. So that could be a little bit tricky later on to route in.
He did? I thought he did check Hobo.
He did?
You know what? He didn't. You're absolutely right.
He's not gonna do it. Well, Sora area gotta have something here. And meanwhile, saltyphry has just been wrecking this dungeon.
Yeah, cruising through. For the most part, they're really exactly just on the same page right now. We're just seeing them each backtrack certain spots that the other one's been to, because Salty's checked this stuff. He's already been to the Zora area. And so we now know that that fire rod situation is not going to punish Schwarz. So now, you know, the table is turned. The Zora situation can now punish Salty if there's a required progression on there, because he'll have to double back to that area, and that'll be time lost for him.
Now, what if you steal a key from the back of Desert?
You know what? You could do that, and it's not the worst thing in the world, I suppose, but you still wouldn't be able to finish the dungeon, because that big key is... The big key or the small key is still going to be locked by the boots, and you are going to need one or the other to finish that dungeon. But you could go ahead and check and see if there's another item over there, but it's kind of risky considering you've already found one item. Because you could go back there and just get, you know, big key, compass and map.
Yeah, that's always a great combination of items. So let's say we'll get the fire rod. We'll check Sora. What else is it? It's just Sora and the mushroom delivery?
Yeah, Zora and mushroom is what we're looking for right now. We know one of those has to have something, but what is it going to be? I mean, you got to be thinking it's... Lamp?
Boots? Boots would open up quite a lot. Moon
Okay,
Pearl?
there's the Moon Pearl, so that's really unfortunate for saltyphry, because he's going to be having to make that trek back to Zora.
So which then?
I guess it could be either glove, lamp, or hammer on the mushroom. Or the shovel. I think that's it. I think those 4 would be
It
the
can
only
also be
options.
boots.
Yeah, you're right. It could be boots.
Boots would open up 2 locations, Bonk Rocks, and it would open up 1 in desert.
Yeah, you're right.
So there's some options here.
Flute or mirror is not going to work out for us because we would be completely locked out of having any progression in this seed because they have to sequence break up Death Mountain.
Yeah, so this is going to give Darkworld access or something that will give Darkworld access. Or it could be boots and they will get flute and mirror and then they have to go into Tower of Hera.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a lamp if I were to guess. Hey, it's a hammer! I told you.
Oh yeah, you did. You totally did.
Alright, so we got our Darkworld access. That only took, a journey to every single corner of the Light World and Hyrule to get. No big deal.
No big deal, but that hint in Desert that Schwarz didn't check was actually the hint for Pyramid Fairy, and Pyramid Fairy has a shield, and that's it.
That's actually a big time save that Salty found that. We'll have to see if Schwarz finds his way to the Pyramid Fairy, which is going to be Meyer and Hera this evening.
Bennett over in pod.
Oh, thanks, dude. I missed it.
Maybe this time it was actually the green pendant.
No, we've confirmed there's no green pendant in this seed. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, there's no green pendant. Sahasrara has been replaced by an Agena clone.
Looks like Salty is going to do Dark Aga 1. This is a very bold play. It's not the worst thing, though.
It has to be done at some point, but it is Dark Aga 1. This is the second time I'm seeing this in a tournament setting.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. He just knows that he's missing 2 items for Dark World access, and he only has 2 things left to check. But what are the odds that it's going to give you something to skip Aga? So he's just going to go ahead and do it.
All the odds are against Saltyphry. He may just think that one of those 2 is going to be the lamp, and then Moon Pearl is going to be on the pyramid.
Yeah, so he's trying to cut out the middleman of not having to find the lamp, and if you find the Moon Pearl on the pyramid, then you know you're already set. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out that well for him because the hammer is from the mushroom and the pearls at Zora, which is actually awful, so I kind of feel for him in this regard.
We all get to experience Dark Aga 1, not every day you get to see that.
It's not so bad, and he's doing a fantastic job of knowing where those torches are at. That one in that room's kind of fickle to get, but if you have the right muscle memory, you can usually line it up. And these rooms are just kind of squares, nothing too much. But then the next big room, you got to find that torch as well, and once you get out of that, you're pretty much done.
And meanwhile, Schwarz has found literally nothing in the Dark World, of course, Hype Cave with nothing, and nothing from the Stumpy and the Digging Game.
Yeah, he took Hype Cave to Digging Game, and now I imagine he's probably going to do, I don't know, what, Thieves Town, probably moving north.
Well, it has the Fire Roll and a sword, so can use to Skull Woods.
Yeah. Seems like a pretty solid route. Meanwhile, Salty is just going to keep hitting up these hints. Hey, tell me where the Moon Pearl's at, please. Ice Palace, I'm on my way.
Do you like Ice Palace?
I mean, in an all-dungeon seed, Ice Palace seems like a really great place to go. You've got 3 hints in there. You're probably going to end up full clearing it anyways. I think doing it as soon as you feel like you're comfortable to do the dungeon quick enough without costing you time, I actually think it's a pretty solid dungeon.
So Schwarz here doesn't expect to find the mirror soon, so he's just doing these Kakariko checks before entering the Dark World.
That's just good routing, and he was the one that did save the time by not doing Sick Kid and waiting so he could try to combo it with something else, and he did wait till he got that powder and Dark World access, so that will save him time.
Will the bat give him anything though?
I gave him 3 bombs.
Okay, everyone, it's time to guess the number of blue balls.
I'm gonna take the Magic Bat's guess and go with 3.
Yeah, I like that guess.
Yes. The bat did give him 3 blue balls also, so...
But after I saw an 11 once, I tend to not guess anymore.
That's quite a few. That would be quite a long fight. We've already seen one. Yeah, a second pair of blue balls. Salty living dangerously and not saving exactly the 1 frame of lag reduction by not grabbing the wall.
Unreal. Ooh, we're gonna see a pedestal check. Now that's more important than Naga 1.
A pedestal check in an all dungeon seed, come on.
Yeah, well, we know the 3 pendants, and all of them can actually be beaten once they get the boots, so there could be a lot of interesting...
Well, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say that was a pretty good pet check there. That is some really nice information.
Yeah, this is not a pedestal seed, not at all. Pet is dead, move on. Nothing to see here, folks.
My god, that's a cane on the pedestal.
Well, so they need boots to get the cane at this point. And the lamp, by logic.
And that's really, really nice information for Schwarz to have. I mean, he's not... You know, he knows exactly where that cane is. He knows exactly what he needs to get it.
So did you see what was on the pyramid?
I don't think it was anything good, because he didn't go to grab it. So, I saw that it was nothing good.
Yeah, that fits the bill. So it's unlikely that Svaz will be making a dip into Mire before getting the pedestal.
We say that now until, you know, those boots are hanging out in Mire. And so Salty's getting his hammer from the mushroom there.
But can't that Ice Palace hint be the boots hint?
It most certainly could.
Well, there's the lamp.
Fantastic.
So, just boots away from pedestal.
Now's a good call for Schwarz coming up here, so... Because his other option would have been doing pod, but he got the lamp now to do pod, which is going to make it really just that much easier, which also in turn makes it that much faster.
I mean, you have to admit this. It's a pretty good position that Svaz is in right now.
Yeah, he sequenced this atrocious sequence, you know, to get out of the light world. He actually sequenced it very well. He got the early information on the pedestal also, so this is pretty good for him. These Gibdos, however, are doing also their duties here and slowing him down, and I must say they're doing a good job at it as well. Being really awful.
He just bring out the boomerang and stun them. But of course, you don't want to bring out the menu because that takes time. You're just hoping that the RNG aligns.
And Moon Pearl for saltyphry, so he now has his multiple points of Dark World access because he actually has killed Aga 1 too.
And it's gonna be Hype Cave first, and this has become the standard way if it's Hammer for Dark World.
I mean, it's the easiest and most free 5-item checks you're ever gonna get. You know, as soon as you get Dark World access, if you can come check here, you might as well, because you don't want to be running around doing, you know, incompletable dungeons or doing things a little bit more difficult when everything you were looking for was right there in that Hype Cave.
Sadly, Hype Cave is often just a shade of its former glory.
Another good thing for, you know, saltyphry's route here is he doesn't have to make the decision if he wants to go up and check Pyramid, because he did Aga 1 to do that, so that works out also. And he knows about Pyramid Fairy, so he's basically, you know, done with that area.
That's gonna make it a bit interesting in how he's gonna route in Catfish later, if he's even gonna route that in. Because you tend to go Pyramid into Catfish.
It's got other options to do it. You could definitely do it after, say, you know, checking Bog Rocks or something like that, since they've got the flippers. But yeah, you know what? Could just not check the big fish and last location them both in one seed. That would be really awful.
I mean, when you check Catfish early, Catfish never has something. You check it late, of course it does. And Schwarz is struggling a little bit here with this Mothula fight.
Yeah, electing to use spin strats. And those are really tough to do. It is going to land temper damage whenever, you know, he does get a hit in, but when you're holding your sword out and spinning, it's going to lower your movement speed, so it makes dodging the spikes that much more difficult. But he had a potion, and Moth is dead.
I even had a green potion if he wanted to return to Fire Rod strats.
We're seeing some arrow game here. Right. You know what? That was probably a really solid reason why none of them went to pot, is because they didn't have any money after Zora.
Yeah, Schwarz has 21 rupees right now. And this shooting game, this is not the first time I'm seeing this in this tournament.
This has almost become a little bit more common, dare I say, the meta in inverted, because it's an easy way to get your early money. Because, you know, the dig game cost 80, the chess game I think cost 40, and getting into pod cost 110. And those are really early options that could be available to you, but the money might not be. So that's definitely a way to get rupees.
Chess cost 30.
30?
Yep, 30.
Fair enough.
Fair enough indeed. But the Smiths cost 10, so you may just have put those two together. Because people forget that Smith actually costs 10 rupees.
It could be true, but Salty showed off the cool little hack that you can do on the shooting game. All you gotta do is just stand right next to him to the left where he did, and whenever that octopus just aligns with the second curtain, you can just shoot. It'll hit it every time. It's pretty much good for at least 2 to 3 cycles. So easy, easy money.
And this looks like a pod play to me here for saltyphry.
He's got the bow, he's got the hammer. Man, even having a fire rod to make it just a little bit easier for that dark turtle room. He can full clear the dungeon. He's not going to find the lamp in here, though. We already know where that's at, but...
He doesn't have that pedestal hint, but he may just end up finding himself in a position where he's gonna blind pull it instead. Well, there's the mirror in the Bumblebull hut.
That's an item right there. Well, I guess Swamp Palace has now reared its ugly head, and we can go ahead and do that if we would like.
Tower of Hera is now accessible from both areas. It's gonna make the Smith chain easier later on when I find the myths.
Yeah, that mirror's in a really interesting spot. Hopefully saltyphry does Village of Outcast kind of south to north, because if he gets that mirror before he does Skull Woods, I imagine he'll probably go check the pedestal as well. Got some nice silver hours over here in Thieves Town too.
Yeah, that's also gonna help Schwarz here with getting these bosses down faster. Because of its location, it's highly unlikely that saltyphry is not gonna find them.
Nah, he's definitely getting those silvers. And with the loadout he currently has, he'd probably wish he kind of had them. It makes the Helmasaur fight really go a lot faster. I mean, you can hammer him 5 times, you can slash him, you know, a billion more times with the sword, or shoot him a bunch with arrows, or, you know, just 1 silver arrow.
Yeah, the silver arrows are pretty strong against most things in this game. But for now, saltyphry is gonna have to do without.
Somebody in chat asking what's on pedestal. The answer is all of your dreams and all of the hype in the world is hanging out in the pedestal, being that the Cane of the Samaria. So we will get to hear that cool little music and see that awesome animation, assuming that both these runners actually want to beat this seed today.
Another hint here for saltyphry. Whatever.
Green text? Out of sight, out of mind. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? A rough hellway here for slots.
Yeah, the hellway is extra hell when you're not equipped with those boots to get that god pixel in. Actually, just the seed without the boots is extra hell as well. So they kind of go hand in hand there.
Looks like Spotson's gonna check that upper floor hint tile here in Thieves Town, though.
Yeah, he's one of our old school runners, man. He doesn't need hints. He's just gonna barrel through this seed without them, and he's doing a pretty good job doing it.
You get the pedestal hint. That's a hint, right?
Yeah, but that's an old school hint.
I mean, that's a true hint so far in the seed, and possibly that unique item in ice. And we have acquired a single arrow and the bug net.
Right, because those count. No hints. Salty did get the big bomb hint though. I mean, that hint effectively saves you like a minute. So that was a really big hint in my book. That is one that is probably going to punish Schwarz for missing that one.
Well, it could be required by the logic, because maybe the logic wants you to have the mirror shield for laser bridge, but you know, everyone's sequence breaks that anyway.
Yeah, no, we don't care. We don't care about the logic or the sequence. We saw them both in the dark rooms. I mean, look at saltyphry's screen right now. This man does not care about the lamp.
Nope. Well, 50-50 that there's an item here in this big chest, and it is an item.
Fantastic torch line up there for Salty. When you miss that first shot, those turtles get on you really fast, and they can block out your fire rod shot, and you can start to get a little nervous because you got 8 shots before you're doing this completely in the dark.
Well, he is set for Helmosaur here. Meanwhile, at blind.
Yeah, and this is basically gonna tie them up still with 3 dungeons completed each.
So once it's done, can continue to route south at this point, check K45, or head northeast, check the Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, it's kind of the weird spot about getting the mirror there in Village of Outcasts. Both of those routes kind of seem like dead ends. It's kind of like a 50-50 of which one you're going to pick. Ooh, that's another cool thing to note, is that whenever Schwarz gets the green pendant, he can go turn it in. And he was trying to go ahead and YOLO gamble the chess game there and see if he could get some pod money, because that's a looming issue for him right now, because that's kind of probably where he wants to go next, and he can't afford it.
You're only sitting on 11 rupees here. Has to find a lot of rupees if he wants to go into pod at this point.
Yeah. I mean, you would probably like not want to spend too much time getting that money. I say, you know, you would think pod's probably where you want to go, but if you don't find the money, it might be better just to go do swamp at this time, see if you can get it there.
And Swamp still has 6 items. Left side is left side, but you know, you still have to go there. We're also still looking for medallions here from Meyer and Turtle Rock as well.
Yeah, and those boots, just to be able to complete either of those. And the flute, yeah, it's like all the mid stuff is coming in really late for us this seed.
For that unique item in ice, it can't be the mids, you know?
No, not in this seed. Shore's got a big 20 from Graveyard there, so 20% the way there.
Yeah, it helps a little bit. Well, there's the cape, so mirror shield shenanigans are dead. MSB Swazi deciding to go into swamp.
Solid play, a little K45 bombos to swamp action. I like it. Just a big 20 over here in the dark on saltyphry screen.
Just keeps on navigating it and slopes. Yeah, remembers about K45 being a thing.
Just 10 arrows. Man, is Pod really gonna have nothing? That's quite surprising to me.
Yeah, Bumper Cave didn't have anything, so this cape doesn't really do much.
Pod is a big goose egg. Well, we haven't seen what the green pendant is yet, but...
I mean, it is a way for Kane of Samaria. Oh, those rupees though.
Hey, I can go to Pod now. All right.
That's great.
Can we get it renamed to Cave 300 now?
I actually like calling it the V-Torp Cave.
You can't do that. This isn't inverted.
Yeah, I know, but I can still call it that.
Oh, I'm not gonna let you.
that cave just has too many names.
Which cave? Cave 300?
Can we call it the Which One Cave?
Let's see what we got over here from Bombos Mountain.
Bombos Mountain? I like that name. Also, is saltyphry gonna check the pet here? That's pretty important.
Yeah, that's really good for him. He'll be getting that kill, right? Well, no, if he does Thieves Town up, which I imagine he'll probably do. I'm a little surprised that Schwarz went out of his way to check the pet, but either or, if saltyphry does, you know, south moving upwards, he will get that mirror and will most likely check the pet as well. So
yeah, keep Mophila and then use the mirror.
It makes a lot of sense to go this direction when you've already gone all the way up to the digging game, because, I mean, this is where you ended your route, so you're basically, you know, starting it where you ended it.
Yeah, I mean, when you enter the Dark World here via Kakariko into Village of Outcast Skull Woods, you always have the choice of, do I go north, do I go south?
So yeah, he'll be getting his mirror, and then...
Skipping the hint here? No, checking the hints.
Source has been, like, on point at making sure not to check any hint with relevant information in it this whole seed.
The hints are just taunting him.
I can understand why he doesn't bother with any of them. Now I'm really nervous about that Thieves Town hint now. It's probably gonna tell him where the boots are, the medallions are, the flute.
I mean, most of the times the hints don't give you anything, and then you find that one that says that bow and gloves are in left side swamp.
That's always the Dark Ice Rod hint, the one that gives you all the good information, right?
That one was in Eastern Palace. And swamp was a pendant. Or when the hints don't actually give you correct information. Those are the best ones. Or like, they give you information, but it doesn't say exactly where.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of decoding processes going on with the hints. You need to know what the hints mean, and then you need to know what, like, the meanings mean. There's a lot of hints that don't quite make sense because they're also connected with multiple modes. So, for instance, Turtle Rock is not hammer locked. That was always a surprising one.
So I see someone in chat mentioning the Ganis Tower Big Key hint. So what happened just the other day was the Ganis Tower Big Key hint said that it was on a boss. But which boss was it on? It was on Armos. And where was the Eastern Big Key? It was in the random room in Ganon's Tower.
See, I'm okay with that. I actually, you know,
I'm
like
not
that
okay with that.
But nah, that's a good one. You know,
that was a key. That was a Keysanity Yetzi that suddenly became like 25 minutes longer.
Excuse me, you don't put Keysanity and Jet in the same sentence. That's not a thing, my friend.
It's a sub 130 seed, and then the big key decided to be on.
There's always something.
So something.
Nothing so far here in Swamp. I am super excited for this hint that I know Salty is going to check and not skip.
Is this important?
A shovel requires the hammer. See, that is one of these loaded hints that mean so much more than they should, but also mean a lot less than you think.
Well, it can be in Spy Cave, in Swamp, and we know that the shovel is not the unique item in Ice.
How do we know that?
Well, it depends on where it is in Ice.
Yeah, but
And
I mean, like,
I know that because
that could
I'm
be
a
the
witch.
same hint. That could be the same hint.
I'm a witch, I know. Trust me.
Hey, nice little swag hookshot clip there from Schwarz. You get it right, it looks really cool. You get it wrong, you have to walk all the way out to reset the switch blocks. Yeah, that shovel could be in GT as well. I think GT Swamp, God, I think it counts in Ice Palace, Hammer Pegs, Spike Cave,
Nope, it's in
and
Swamp.
also in Swamp because it's right there.
Yep. See, I told you it wasn't in Ice. You didn't trust me.
You're right, you were right.
I mean, that's still a pretty convenient spot to find it in, since you're not that far away from the shovel location.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that.
Well, so far that's the only useful thing in Swamp. Useful, in quotation marks.
Yeah, it's definitely a question mark right now, to be determined, but you know, that was 2 items over there in the back of Swamp, so Schwarz probably did make the right play by going to the back of Swamp first, because that is going to save you time opposed to killing the boss and walking back in. It's not too much, but if you were going to go back in, it would have been better to, you know, do left side first while you were in there, but, you know, hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah, I mean, it's left side Swamp. Sometimes you check it and it has nothing, and sometimes you don't check it and it has something, and then you lose the race.
Yeah, skipping stuff in an all dungeon seed's pretty rough because you're going to need a lot more items than normal to complete the seed. You would hate to just be leaving something behind and just really making this a lot longer than it needs to be.
Well, as saltyphry here starts this blind fight, we also can say for certain that this is not going to be a seed, Midst and Swamp, by the way, that's going to require double dip into Ganon's tower, because pedestal is required.
You're 1000% right there. That is, that's a very awesome deduction that you made there, because yeah, they do need the pedestal. You're not going to have to go into GT to find stuff to do a pedestal, because you got to pull the pedestal just to get into GT, so that's actually really nice in an all dungeon seed, because GT again is like that big wrinkle for this variant.
Well, we're just waiting to see where those boots are, and I don't know about you, I'm feeling that's the item in Ice at this point, but you do have the entire Smith chain you can do now with the mitts, and routing the shovel spot with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Ice is a pretty solid play here, though.
I mean, you can just go Ice, and then immediately after that, you go into Pod.
Sure.
And then delivering the green pendant, if you're Swats.
But I mean, like, yeah, those boots, that gets us Arcana Samaria, but what does the Arcana Samaria do for you when you don't got a freaking medallion? I mean, they're still missing, again, it's like everything just to do those 2 dungeons. It's really strange.
Yeah, without the medallions,
And the flute. I mean,
it doesn't do anything.
Nice. Short showing off the 1 cycle there with Fire Rod and Master Sword. You can actually sneak in 3 hits if you kind of telegraph Argus's movements by moving with him with your shots, and you can get in those 3 hits before he hops up.
Actually, I only knew you could get in double, so triple is a new one for me. Well, if we're gonna talk medallions, I imagine the medallion for Turtle Rock is in Hookshot Cave, because it tends to be there.
Yeah, they do like to leave the keys under the doormat, don't they?
That's what they do. Those turtles, man. They're slow, they can't walk that far.
Alright, Ice seems to be exactly what's on Schwarz's mind. Go ahead and just keep chipping away at all of these dungeons.
One by one, they need to be done.
amazing that, you know, he must have thought that the boots were going to be coming much quicker, knowing what that they locked, and it's like, man, where are they? Come on, man.
Well, Purple chest is dead. That's good information since he just got access to that with the myths.
Yeah, that's actually another one of those nice hints. That hint pops up so often. It almost seems like it's in every seed, but that again, that's another hint that's going to save you a minute or so. The only thing I wish Schwarz would have done... actually, he did go check Bombos, right? Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, check Bombos.
Bombos Mountain, I forgot.
So Saltyphry now picking up the lamp here in Skull Woods. You know that everything's back in logic again.
Again, anybody watching or tuning in, I would like to note, it probably looks like Schwarz has a substantial lead on saltyphry. This may or may not be true. I think it's actually really close right now because of Salty's AGA 1 kill. That's going to be time that Schwarz is going to have to, you know, spin later. Granted, with how he's riding this, he probably is going to find himself in a position to do it faster, but as far as I see it right now, this race is pretty close as it sits.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That AGA 1 is not to be underestimated at this point. And possibly that he may even be able to use that teleporter and save a quit spot in an effective way.
A unique item is near Misery Mire, so we got a unique item in the Misery Mire shed. Maybe that refers to checkerboard too? Who knows, man? Hints.
I don't know if that refers to checkerboard, actually.
Probably not, but hints are hints, man.
I mean, that's the Mire medallion then, or something.
You're probably right.
I mean, very convenient would be if that's boots, because then you just mirror over and you could do desert immediately. Then what's nice? The flute? Because we know there's nothing in pod.
I guess we are running out of items that could be considered unique items.
Well, we still have Tower of Hera and the Ether Tablet. And because of the myths, everything up in Dark Death Mountain, so there's a lot there.
Even though Salty had done quite a few other checks than Schwarz did by the time he got the Moth, they're pretty much wearing the same equipment to finish this fight. No boots, no tempered.
And also opting for spins here.
A little bit of a smoother fight, didn't need to use a potion. Had a little bit more health though.
We'll see if it's gonna mirror on over and check the pedestal at this point. It's basically the best opportunity he has to make that check.
Yeah, and if he does remember to do this, it'll be really big for him. Yeah, so he'll get the information knowing that, hey, Kane's over here. Hey, where are my boots?
Yeah, where are the boots? Can't be too far away.
Well, they've pretty much just about proven that they can be anywhere except for inside Turtle Rock. Especially when you find that flute.
Yeah, the boots can be in Mire. But then we found there's the unique item in Ice. I was just gonna mention that, and that's our first medallion. And this is Saltyphry actually opting to go up and do Tower of Hera at this point.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that play. Just go ahead and do Ether Tablet, Tower of Hera, and the Spike Cave. That way you know that you've kind of cleaned out Western Death Mountain.
Yeah, it's just that Schwarz will be able to do that with Dark Death Mountain later on.
Not getting as much damage as he probably like to on Cold Stare here, getting him clumped up. They kind of separated pretty quick, but if this fight does get out of hand, I'm pretty sure he still has his green potion in his bag, so he can use that. But he's electing to save it right now.
And the tablet is dead.
Still electing to utilize spins. He's getting some good hits on, you know, more than one puff at a time. But getting bodied a little bit now, and now this is getting a little dicey, so... Don't get puffed, and, Oh, please! Swarz, no! Why'd you get so greedy, man? Oh, well.
And Catfish has a boomerang.
That's a huge hint there as well. That's really nice to have also.
Yeah, Catfish is not going to be checked here by saltyphry. That's a significant time loss, and you have to walk all the way back down against Cold Stare. And now also without that green potion in hand.
Yeah, man, at least he has enough keys to refill on magic, but yeah, looks like he's changing his mind. Looks like he's just going to do this later. He can get potions and do it at an easier time, or boots. I think he found all 3 items. I hope he did.
Yeah, I'm not too certain. I remember 2 items. I mean, must have been a minimum of 2, so... Regardless, if you don't feel like you can do it at this point, it's better to just leave, come back later. And the saltyphry is gonna climb Heron, so it's gonna do that soon enough. I'm really looking forward to see which medallion is needed for Turtle Rock here.
I bet that Ether medallion's probably required for, if not one, probably both of them. Doesn't seem like... I mean, they could be looking for another medallion, but, I mean, where are they going to put it? They're running out of stuff to do so fast.
Yeah, where can it be? And top tier hint there in Tower of Pharaoh.
I'm electing not to use the bomb jump there. Just going to go ahead and hook shot across and take the extra screen transitions. Swarz following up with the Hera play, so... Doesn't actually know that the big key is down there. Well, he knows now. Well, he will soon. And now he's got his Catfish hint.
Yeah, so both Catfish and Purple Chest are dead here. And they've been quite thorough, so yes, as it's been said, not that many spots left to check.
Yeah, we have Dark Death Mountain, and we have the Smith and the Purple, the Smith and the Hammer Pegs. Everything else, we kind of already know about.
And we say goodbye to friendly neighborhood Moldor. Goodbye.
There's the blue cane, so my word, with with all the looks like all the unique items that we have, we know that, you know, if there was a hint for another unique item, it's probably one that we need, because it has to either be Bombo's Quake, the flute, or the boots. I don't think there's any unique items left in the pool.
Yeah, well, the flute can't be near Meyer's shed, so which item is there? It must be a medallion?
It could be the boots.
Yeah, medallion or boots. Medallion or boots near Meyer. Because shields and swords are not unique items, right?
I don't believe so. But hints.
Yeah, hints are a thing.
Hey, nice tempered there in Spike Cave. That's always good to have.
Well, tempered is the sword that you're looking for in terms of quality.
Yeah, I'm more of a quantity guy. I would rather have, like, you know, 30 Master Swords instead of 1 tempered.
Use like throw them or do you shoot them with your bow?
I'm just saying, if I'm full health, I'm going to destroy you with all the sword beams I'm going to be dishing out. If not, I'll just make you lag really bad.
Oh, real life lag, the worst kind. I think Salt is gonna head into swamp at this point.
Yeah, he really has, like, nothing else that he can do at this point. I think he can check, you know, the 2 mirror spots, but outside of that, I think he's done pretty much everything that isn't locked by the mitts.
Mitts is gonna lead him into ice. And Dark Death Mountain. And Moldrum just wants to hug.
Just wants a hug, man. Give him a hug.
I'm so happy. Despite being forever stuck in this weird space. I mean, maybe it's good that we are killing Moldrum. No, doesn't have to suffer anymore.
Wow. I don't know, man. That's pretty dark.
Well, someone put Moldrum there for a reason, and Moldrum just goes randomly around in circles.
Alright, so you have option free him or option slay him and let his children be orphaned. I see how it is, man.
You said it, not me.
I agree with you, though. I mean, even though it sounds like I don't. So Dark Death Mountain here from Schwarz.
We're gonna start off here by seeing what Turtle Rock is. So which medallion is gonna be?
Well, there's Ether.
That's pretty convenient.
We'll need to go get that from, I believe, Ice Palace. Yeah.
So
Interesting.
We may not need any more medallions, and if that is the case,
Yeah.
then the flute is gonna lead to the boots at Myershed.
I mean, if
that's the hint, then.
and if that's the case too, Schwarz would be on a really fast track to go mode. That would be really ideal for him. It's gonna be probably tough for him to find that tempered sword though, but yeah, we find the flute over here in Dark Death Mountain, then he just kind of goes and checks out the mire area. We see the boots are in there and that it's also ether. I mean, he doesn't need anything else. He knows exactly what he needs to finish the seed.
But what more do we have to check here than Hookshot Cave?
But where else could the flute be? Come on, man.
it must be here. That or boots.
I know, yeah. Oh man, he should be really close.
And if it's boots here, then flute must be in Turtle Rock, right?
Yeah. Oh, gross.
Or in a bonk spot? In desert? Well, final chest here.
Ooh.
Wait, what?
Okay, so we have the smith, we got the pegs, and then
no.
anything that we possibly missed in Ice Palace.
Why C do you do this? Why? Well, this means that Svasa is gonna be able to do Spy Cave here at the end and get the sword.
Yeah, I think that's good for him to... He probably would have done it anyways, just because the flute wouldn't have necessarily dictated go mode for him. The sword will be nice. Might push him back to go do Cold Stare because that fight is going to be substantially easier with, you know, a golden fiery hot sword than a, you know, a blue one.
Yes. So do we just have the smith and hammer pegs at this point?
Yeah, and then if there was anything lacking in Ice Palace that,
Yeah.
you know, being a bad commentator, I didn't notice.
Well, Swats is gonna head on over to...
I think green pendant, too. I don't know if...
Oh, the green pendant! Saltyphry never handed over the green pendant to Sasvala.
Vanilla boots? You don't say.
Could be a thing. Well, this is just unique item waiting room at this point.
Did Schwarz use a shovel too?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
And saltyphry didn't go left side, so he's not gonna get it. Maybe he's gonna come back in later. But since he's gonna find the mids here, he may just say nope.
Yeah, the mitts are gonna be really silly. It's kind of strange that, you know, you got 7 items on Dark Death Mountain that the mitts unlock, and you're gonna go there and find absolutely nothing. It's the one-off checks is where you need to go. How do you do it every time, game?
Guess it's rando. Rando's got a rando. I'm just gonna sit back, relax, and wait for something new to happen.
Yeah, I don't know who's gonna show us first. Gotta feel like Schwarz and Salty are gonna finish up their respective dungeons here, probably around the same time, because Salty is, I'd say, most likely gonna go over to Ice Palace after this, but, you know, I can't be 100% certain either.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna head on over to their Twitch channels and follow them.
You know what? That's a great idea. I'm going to do exactly the same, and I strongly suggest and recommend that everybody who's watching do the same. The links are right there. Just click them and hit follow. If they forgot to turn off their follow alerts, it's just going to spam the screen and be really funny.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
So there's another way you can kill Argus with 1 silver arrow.
Yeah, you can get your lovely bee.
Some people say B, some other people say, like, I think 4th bottle? Right? Yeah!
B, 4th bottle. It's a B. And that's the final bottle. Schwarz is not gonna get all 4 bottles since he skipped inside of Spectacle Rock.
Yeah, so it's like their routing is basically like exactly the same, but in just this weird different sequence. But Salty finishing up Swamp, mirroring, gonna head over to Ice Palace, so he will get his Ether Medallion that he can do nothing with until he finds the booze.
You know, for being a pedestal seed, there's an awful lot of waiting for that massive hype moment.
And I'm gonna try to... Oh, go ahead.
Because boots are so late. Why must boots always be so late?
Just kind of savoring the flavor of the seed. If we gave them the boots, they would finish way too fast. You know, be no fun for them because they'd have nothing else to do all day. Be no fun for us because we wouldn't have anything to watch. This is what everybody wanted. I'm sure of it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Did you say they have nothing to do this day? They are having game 3 after this game on this channel that you're watching right now.
Right. If they finish super fast, though, they'd get cold. You know, they got to make sure to drag it out so their hands stay warm. But yeah, that's crazy. They're doing a back-to-back. They're doing one right after this, and in case, you know, this shenanigans wasn't enough, I think it's going to be almost exactly the same. But, you know, let's throw Key Sanity on top of it. Why not?
Yeah, they're gonna have Key Sanity in that game 3 that's coming up after this one. Will also be streamed on the channel that you're currently watching. Because Key Sanity is fun, you know. 20 ice rods.
It's more like, I don't know, 7? It's not 20, though. Come on.
It's 20 if you're running all dungeons, I'd say. And thankfully, the upcoming game is just Beat Ganon. There's a nice palm jump there from saltyphry.
Doesn't matter if it's all dungeons or not in Key Sanity, because all you gotta do is just throw those, throw the GT Big Key on the pedestal. There you go, you're done.
Or just throw it in a pendant dungeon and the big key for it is in Ganon's tower.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's the way it should be. That's most fun for everybody.
You find the swamp big key in Ganon's tower, and it leads you to the small key that you need for the big chest in Thieves Town. And then you get the big key for Turtle Rock. And that's where the Ganon Tower big key is.
No key sanity. Alright, Swar's finding his disappointment in the back of Pod. So he can go ahead and kill Helmosaur. Maybe we'll get to finally see what that green pendant nets to.
Yeah, we're waiting to see if Colster has an item here and what the green pendant has in store for us.
Yeah, I'm watching a little bit closer here. I feel like I haven't seen any items yet in Ice Palace, which makes me think that maybe the Ice Tea or Cold Stare did have something.
I just saw the map there in the menu. So no compass.
Yeah, Shores was definitely missing the compass. I know it's not going to be in the big chest. I know it's not going to be in this one. But he had 2 small keys. Yeah, Right, one of these is ether, so... Actually, I think there is still 1 item left in this dungeon.
It depends on where that compass is.
It's not in here. Because that one was ether, yeah. So the compass is either on Cold Stare or in the Iced Tea, but again, if the other one should be an item, which we don't know about.
Saltyphry's checking. Not leaving any location. Except for left side swamp.
And the green pendant.
And the green pendant. he could route the green pendant after this.
Yeah, he's finally got his mirror to make that a little bit easier for him.
And since they don't have flute, they can't easily get to Sahasrara in the first place.
You're basically neighbors with them. It's not too far of a walk. You gotta go visit the old man every now and then. Agina, though, he can be alone forever. He's too far away.
Yeah, we did see the compass there. There's an item on Cold Stare. If that is an important item, that could be devastating for Schwarz.
Salty coming in here to refill his magic. I think he still has his green. I also think he's going to be a bunny.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The double switch block move there. Don't see that one every day.
Yeah, it's been a seed where some weird things have happened, let's say that.
Well, this is super exciting right now because we're about to see like back-to-back unique items that could be the item that we're looking for.
Schwarz, are you gonna take the mirror spot somewhere else instead?
I think he is going to walk all the way down here to do it.
I was a bit worried there.
You can do it a little bit higher up there. I'm not sure if he knows, but...
Meanwhile, Cold Stare.
That's the flute. Ooh, that might be a little rough.
That's extremely rough, and Sahasrara just has 300 rupees. This scene may have just turned around.
I guess Schwarz is going over to Pyramid.
This is the moment of truth here after this flute activation. What is in that Mire shed, and which medallion is needed for Mire?
I mean, it doesn't even seem like the moment of truth. I'd put Salty a little bit ahead right now. Like, even if
absolutely.
He doesn't have the Mire medallion, I mean, how long is it going to take him to find it?
Salty even having
he has
done
nowhere else to
1.
go. There's very little divergent paths left for them.
Yeah. So Salty is actually up 2 dungeons here with both Cold Stare dead and Aga 1 down.
Yeah.
He's ahead in items.
Swords does have the Dark Death Mountain check on him, but outside of that, the Cold Stare Death really proving... I hurt him a little bit here, but I mean, you know, if those boots are over at the dig spot, That could change things a little bit.
Yeah, that shovel is the one thing, but Schwarz is going back into ice at this point.
Right. Something he has to do anyways. He's got his tempered sword. Should be a little bit easier now. Then he'll be getting his flute. Got to be thinking, though, that unique item that's over in the mire shed, well, that might be those boots.
I mean, that's the first spot to go for here. There can't be many items. It's a medallion or boots. Oh dear.
Well, I guess we're gonna need another medallion, boys.
Yeah, is it Bombos in here in the miner shed? Or is it gonna be the boots? Or is it gonna be Quake? It's gonna be the boots!
Oh, that's even more obnoxious. Oh, you mean to tell me I gotta go all the way up to Turtle Rock to find my silly medallion? Come on, game.
Yep. Well, now you just mirror over here with the boots in Clear Desert, and then you pull the pedestal, and then you go into Turtle Rock. Unless that shovel has a bombos.
Yeah, that's still an option on the table. I'm really impressed with this sequence. I mean, I don't understand how the game made sure to give you everything you needed in, like, just the last possible sequence. You finally find what you think you need, and you still need something more. How does it do it every time? Good old Randomizer.
Yeah, it's Randomizer. It never disappoints, or maybe it always disappoints, depending on how you want to look at it. Or, you know, Bombos just be here in Desert, that'd be great.
It's possible. We're still lacking one item. The only item we got out of here was that mushroom.
And saltyphry is hoping that it's on Landmolus. May go back in after.
Checkerboard's not too far away either.
Indeed. And then after checkerboard, you just flew to Kakariko and you pull the pedestal.
Yep. Then after that, it works out really nice for him because he'll have the cane of Samaria prior to actually checking Dark Death Mountain. So he can do all that in one trip up. But yeah, Schwarz will probably end up making that trip up there as well. And then he'll have to make another one to do Ganon's Tower. Looks like Schwarz lost a lot of health on his way over to Cold Stairs, so he's gonna go ahead and visit these fairies.
Yeah, that's a nice call from him. May also use the net, maybe, to catch one or two.
Putting this bottle seed to good use. Right, Landmo, what's it gonna be? Bombos? Give him a little go mode. Alright,
Nope.
big 20. Never mind.
I'll let him have to go back in for the big chest at least. Well, where can this Bombos be? Digging Game, Turtle Rock, Checkerboard, Smith.
Hammer pegs? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those are all viable options. Could be in the bonk rock spots as well.
Oh yeah. Is there a consideration here then to check those immediately after Pet?
I don't think
Or
anybody has
usually just go Turtle Rock.
Nobody's checked Lumberjack either.
Yeah, that's right. We don't know what's on Lumberjack. I mean, that's definitely an option here for saltyphry, since he has downed Aga 1. And Schwarz is still down 2 hearts here. Let's have the fairy.
Well, he's got that fairy, so thank God.
Yeah, thank you, fairy.
Cold Stare had his number today.
And he's not gonna feel very happy about that flute.
Yeah, that's gonna sting a little bit, knowing that, you know, you were hot on that sequence and you completely lost it because of an unfortunate death.
And oh my god, it's a pedestal bullet? What can it be? Oh my god, I knew idea what's gonna be on this. It's a cane.
It's the weird shaped red boomerang, right?
Yeah,
No, that's
I mean,
Cane of Samari on the pedestal.
they
Jesus.
found the cane, I guess. And they're still not in go mode. Straight Turtle Rock it is.
Might as well. It's a horrendously linear dungeon. I mean, you can save some time skipping the big chest, skipping Mimic Cave and all of that if you were in go mode, but that's a very small amount of time that you would save relative to skipping all of these one-off, you know, locations left in the overworld. So going to Turtle Rock right now is a pretty solid play.
Yeah, you have to do it anyway. And it's rare for you to save any time if you can go mode it. It's like Mimic Cave. Mostly Mimic Cave. 1 or 2 chests on Laser Bridge.
Yeah, so I think, man, Bombos to the dig spot would probably be Schwarz's best chance to catch up, but it's really hard to see saltyphry even losing enough time to not last location that and still have a little bit of an edge here, seeing how much time he already has on Schwarz.
Yeah, because he's been very thorough as well, and is both Desert and Aga 1 ahead at this point. Now it's a pretty fast Aga 1 for Schwarz. He's gonna do that immediately after the Gannis Tower, unless the Bombos is on Lumberjack.
Right, right. Oh no.
Oh no, indeed. Oh, they did get the boots in this seed at least.
Yeah, at the 90-minute mark where, you know, you always expect to find the boots in your seed. Said nobody ever.
Yeah, I think we can remove that 0. And saltyphry also haven't been here in Dark Death Mountain, so it makes even more sense to make the Turtle Rock play first.
Yeah, it kind of worked out really nice for him. He found the flute and the boots prior to, you know, going to Dark Death Mountain, and that was mostly just because he, you know, barely had the mitts for any time at all in the seed. Schwarz would have done exactly the same thing that saltyphry was doing right now, but he died to Cold Stare and elected to do other things than finish the dungeon.
Yeah, and that definitely may just be the deciding factor in this race. And do you still check the hints here, since you are looking for an item? Yay, thanks. Did you know that the fire rod is not in plain sight, it's actually in your menu?
Does that count as plain sight? You know, if it's in your menu, will they change the hints to, you know, mimic those situations?
The fire rod is in your menu?
That would be... If hints did that, I would like them a little bit better.
I mean, that could be like a yoke tile.
You know what? That's a really good idea. I like that. The moon pearl's in your menu. Wait, really? Just kidding.
Your equipment is in your menu. That one actually works. Lots of keys here in early Turtle Rock.
Yeah, kind of got to do that just so you can make it through. But yeah, I think that was big key and 2 smalls, so kind of the god setup if you were trying to go mode this dungeon, which you're not, therefore it makes perfect sense why these keys were here.
As usual.
Nice cane dashes there. Really cool when you utilize that. Activating Burna takes like a lot of magic, but it doesn't run out as fast as the cape. When you use a cane dash, you still get that activation fee, but it doesn't have a drain on it while you're using the item dash on it. So as long as you have enough magic to activate the cape, you can just item dash through all of those rollers or, you know, whatever problems you have in your seed, and all you need is the magic just to turn it on.
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet little glitch there.
Comes really handy in Randomizer seeds when you got a lot of tight hallways with undesirables.
Oh, Randomizer.
Just make sure it's not hard mode. If you're on hard mode, you're gonna be really surprised.
Yeah, because the Cane of Burna only deals damage in hard mode.
Nice self-locking key there in Turtle Rock. And Swarz is going to get his final pendant, so he can go pull his hype pedestal.
Which will also not give him go mode?
Not quite.
Ain't it? Stinking bombos. Will Svarts check the bonk spots? Will he check the shovel before going to Turtle Rock?
Those could be big plays, and that could save you a minute or so in Turtle Rock alone, just because of the location of these keys and stuff. Lumberjack's an interesting one too.
Just for the info, I mean, it's this late in, but still. Also, we've already seen the pedestal being pulled this seed, so yeah.
No, it's still just as exciting. Come on, man.
Oh my god, it's some unique item that's required on the pedestal.
Yeah, we finally did it. It's been forever.
Woohoo. Oh, red mailing Mimic Cave. It's not the worst. Spots very fluting. Bottles. Bottles.
All right.
Potions.
Got some money to spend, finally. Grab a couple safeties here, why not? Just to flute away.
Well, I may just flute to Turtle Rock if he's setting this up already.
It seems like it. Seems like Turtle Rock's probably going to be his next play.
Well...
But, we are starting to get to the meat and potatoes portion of this dungeon being, Laser Bridge, but I haven't seen no bombos yet. And I'm starting to get a little worried.
Yeah, a little bit. Also, there's a compass still left here in
so there's
Turtle Rock.
3 items over here, so over half the items are still back here on Laser Bridge.
Well, we all know that they are gonna find the medallion that they're looking for here. Quake.
Quake? Come on, man. I'm sitting here holding my breath, waiting for this bombos to show up, and if it's any further in this seat, I might pass out.
Please don't pass out.
Chest number 1, that's going to be our small key we were looking for. Chest number 2 is... We'll get back to you.
To be determined. Oh, you see... blah blah blah, I'm a witch, blah blah blah.
Yeah, but you're a trolley witch.
Oh man.
Quake, you gotta be kidding me, Seed. Well, Trinex does have an item still. Please, be nice to them. Give them Quake on Laser Bridge, come on.
Welcome to Rando, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, you called that Quake too. I'm so disappointed in you, but it was also really funny.
I'm so happy and sad at the same time. I take full responsibility, by the way. So, Trinex, Smith, Hammer Pegs, Shovel, Lumberjack, Bonk Rocks, King's Tome.
That sounds about right. I think they've been through enough. Bombos, I command you to appear from this 3-headed lizard, whatever it is.
It's not what you feel, it's what the seed is feeling.
Nah, I've had enough.
The seed doesn't care.
It clearly does not.
Absolutely doesn't. Oh, and Swat's taking a fall there.
Yeah, never slash the jellies, they're rude. Alright, nice Trinex kill there. And what's it gonna be, Trinex? You gonna give us the bombos?
It's going to be... not bombos.
Oh, man.
Welp, we're going somewhere else.
Well, the bad news is we don't have bomboses. The good news is that Fat Fairy hint that Swords skipped is really not relevant in this seed at all.
Nope.
So where's he gonna go? I imagine probably a save and quit the Sanctuary, check the Bonk Rocks into Lumberjack.
That's 3 spots, and then you can go straight into Kakariko, Village of Outcast for the Smith Chain, and then it's left side swamp for the shovel. So this route's in actually pretty well. Was the king buried with a coin?
As it seems right now, this lead that he has seems insurmountable. I still see, after him doing all that stuff, that, you know, unless something terribly goes wrong, being up that Aga 1 tower, I mean, that's just about the same time as it is doing all of these checks.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even if this is the shovel spot. Well, the bonking. There we go.
There it is. Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but it seems like saltyphry is gonna win this game.
Yeah, at 141, he's officially entered Go Mode. He gets to Go Mode exactly 1 dungeon, being Misery Mire. He doesn't know this because he's not watching everyone else's screens, but he probably doesn't feel too good. I mean, he's literally full clear of the world. He got to skip left side swamp. I mean, you know, maybe you're feeling good about that, but I think what's going to hurt right now is he knew that when he was turning in the flute, all he had to do was just check that Bonk Rock. He would have had a faster Turtle Rock. He would have saved himself a trip up the mountain. You can't really feel like you're ahead in this position.
Yeah, we even talked about being able to do that immediately after the pedestal. Just check Lumberjack and then wrap around the bonk spots after that.
Yeah, it would have been a really nice route, to be honest, but it's all right. It's going to work out because they both did the same thing, and I mean, they did the higher density play, so wasn't a bad decision by any means. It just was not the correct decision in the seed.
Yeah, and especially for Salty, since he hadn't been up to Dark Death Mountain earlier. Well, it's still weird that Meyer big key is, you know? Thank you.
Aw, you know what? I don't know, we've been saying bad things about the seed all day. They gave him a nice, you know, Godmire. Who can complain? Hey, look at this pot strat over here on Swords' side. That's
yes. Salty has got a mystery hug. That sounds so wrong on so many levels.
So 15 hearts, red mail, silvers. He's got 4 bottles. I don't know what he's got in him, but the options available. He's looking pretty solid for Ganon's Tower here.
I think he has a B and a green potion.
He's got a B? That's all he needs.
Yeah. Just quad B Ganon.
He's going to have fantastic menus going to Ganon's Tower because he literally has filled in every single slot on his menu bar, so there's no holes or anything to trip you up there. I mean, he's set right now.
Yeah, that being Gold Sword would be cherry on top, with a butter on top, if you want to say it like that, but I'm not really gonna check additional spots for it.
Nah. Gold Sword's not saving any time right now. As long as you get your 1-1 on Ganon, we don't need that Gold Sword.
Let's get a shoot down on some bosses.
There we go, and that'll be the final 7th crystal. He's already got all 3 pendants. He's already killed Aga 1. All he has to do is just do Aga 2, kill Ganon, as if it was a standard Ganon gold seed after, you know, doing literally everything before it.
Well, he has to find 1 more item in Ganon's Tower, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, tell us a little bit more about that. I forget how that works.
Well, as far as I know, there's 22 item locations in Ganon's Tower where the big key can be, and I heard that you kind of need a big key. So we can let people in chat just write a random number between 1 and 22 so they can guess where it is, and if they just so happen to be one of our lovely subscribers to any of the Speed Gaming channels or donated 250 bits, they're the first to guess right, they will even enter the leaderboard. Amazing, you know?
All right. I mean, I don't think they needed our help because those numbers started spamming in pretty quick, but it looks like they're working. You have any guesses you'd like to throw out there?
Can we kill Bob, please?
Kill Bob? You've just been wanting to kill everything. Kill Moldorm, kill Bob. Come on, man.
No. I do not support the killing of Moldorm the Wise. Our Lord and Savior. Sometimes.
I'm not sure what that means, but what I am sure of is Schwarz is getting his go mode at 145. And I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be chest number, I'm going to say chest number 2, because I think they've had enough.
Well, we have a few more seconds here before we're closing this.
Does kill Bob mean it's on the torch? Is that what you meant?
Yeah, the torch.
Okay.
What do you think I'm talking about here?
I mean, if it was in Bob's chest, you usually powder him to get him out of the way. Doesn't that kill him too?
That's too late. Torch.
Alright, heading over here to the right side. Or Hope Room. However the cool kids call it these days. Chest number 1, just a small key. Chest number 2 is just a big 20.
Well, it's time for the 2018 meta. Gotta go right. I mean, I remember the good old days when everyone went left, like 18 months ago.
Yeah. Hey, there's only one right way to go, and that's the way to the big key, but sometimes you just gotta follow the crowd if you feel ahead. If you don't feel ahead, do something different.
Yeah, like tile room first.
Not that different. That's insane.
Yeah.
Chest number 3, piece of art. 4 3 bombs, 5 fire shield, 6 another big 20.
And the final shield, of course, is a pyramid fairy.
That's right, we do know that. Good old hints. If you guess chest number 2 for the Misery Mire big key, you cheated because you already knew that. Ooh, sorry, not 7 today.
Damn you, Bob.
He gets to live, too.
It's so unfair.
I'm sorry your bloodlust has not been satisfied this round.
Oh, I lust for more. Also, Bob is an anti-fairy. Do they have blood?
Maybe
I
it's
think
in magic,
we
because that's what they steal from you, but man,
I
that's
think we should avoid this topic.
That's some deep lore, yeah. I think that was 8, 9, 10, and 11 there.
Yeah, they definitely were. So 12. Nope.
Well, it's not a big key there on 12, but he is 1 rupee richer. He's got to be feeling good about that.
They're winning the rupee war here. And Svasa will now be moving on to Vitreous. Is we see number 13? Nope.
I mean that the big key has to be in Rando Room here? I don't know. The GT big key logic always escapes me. I remember hearing something about this. We'll see if it's right or not.
There's a logic behind the big key?
I have no idea, man. It confuses me every time.
Well, there's half magic.
Yeah, I was wrong. See, I told you.
I know that feel. Well, it's nothing up to 17.
Making sure to really get your money's worth out of this seed. You thought you were going to go mode Ganon's Tower. Joke's on you.
I mean, it is rando.
By the way, if he menus to his powder here, you're going to be getting your wish come true. I hope you know this.
He's not gonna do it. Oh, okay, has to do a bomb jump here, though.
That's alright. Well, 1 pixel bomb jump, he was very familiar with what to do there.
Oh my goodness.
That was just for you, Marge. Hey, go Bob.
It's happening. It's happening. So, it's behind Ice Armors or is it Tile Room? Well, here we go. Number 19. Nope. Number 20. Nope. Number... Okay.
21. Or excuse me, it was 20, right?
21.
21. All right. Well, that was a nice full clear of Ganon's Tower. At least you got the butter sword out of it, so even if you miss your spin on Ganon, no big deal.
And we say congrats to Owning Matt93 for being the first sub or supporter to guess right.
Alright, so yeah, Salty is climbing his Ganon's Tower, doing the last part of this. Schwarz is just right behind, but we know, that big key is kind of far away, and then after this he still has to kill Aga 1. Salty is really... This race is in his hands, so keep everything, on the board. Don't fall off. It's his race to lose.
He basically has to die to Aga 2 twice. And I know what you're all thinking, like, you can die to Aga? Yeah, you can die to Aga.
I mean, go ahead and go watch some of these swordless races. It's a little bit more common than you think. It gets a little bit more interesting when you take a sword off the table.
Yeah, having to use hammer or bug net is a bit trickier.
With how he's rolling through this gauntlet, though, he's not giving me any impressions that he's going to die to Aga or if he's feeling a little nervous about this. He's just been flying through. Same as those landmos were through those silver arrows.
Yeah, they're really good at dodging those arrows. I say as they die. We could also see a hug party at Ganon.
Yeah, it's still only 4 hearts with a hug, I think, with red mail, so you could afford to give him 1 or 2. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
In fact, it's a kind gesture.
Everyone
nice,
gets a hug.
Nice Wizrobe 1 and 2 there.
There's also that little glitch that can occur up here.
Yeah, that's kind of a gross one too, the despawn glitch, but plenty of time there.
I've never actually seen it happen.
It's been a while since I've seen one of those happen, but it does happen from time to time. Everyone's pretty aware of it and also knows the severity of its impact, so if they're a little worried about it, they'll just kind of wait until you hear the dinging noise of that torch going down before they climb in the stairs.
Moldorm the second. Goodbye, Moldorm.
He had to die as well, just so we could get access over here. Doesn't seem right, but what are you gonna do?
I mean, Ganon or Aghanim placed that Moldorm there. Just release Moldorm's spirit to the greater beyond.
See, I believe in evolution, so I don't actually think Ganon was the one who played.
I believe in anime. Anyway, this is a game.
Elbows were not being too nice.
This pattern here doesn't seem very nice.
Yeah, that was a rough one there, and their timing was a little off. This one seems to be a little bit more reasonable, but kind of throws a wrinkle in there when you're going to get a blue ball to the face. But he salvaged that pretty well.
These blue balls.
Oh, man.
I didn't say anything earlier about
I'm done. I'm done talking with you, and I also never want you commentating any of my races ever again if he dies in that
I don't think I've ever commentated one of your races.
Good.
Maybe one. I don't remember.
Heart and a half here, but we do have silvers, half magic, cape. He could take the time to go refill his health. It's up to him. If you do that, though, you might be missing out on that sub, too. So we'll see if he's going to go for it.
It's not too far away from just getting that fairy.
I like it.
I like it, too.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's going to have a red potion as well. Because he didn't use his on Moth.
Swat's got the big key.
This is a little nerve-wracking, though. I guess a fire bat wouldn't kill you in one hit, but I do believe Ganon would.
He may just be as calm as a piranha plant.
Nice hook shots there to use those iframes to get past him, and that's pretty much the hardest part of this Ganon fight.
Yeah, no, it's pretty straightforward. It's just a matter of how many teleportations. I never said the word, by the way. Thank you.
Alright, there's 1 of 4 silver ores required. Nice torch glitch there. Oh, just out of reach for the quick grab there, but that's alright.
Oh, actually
just
that.
Not high enough. It was close, though. I like that. A little aggressive double there, but this double looks pretty on point. Yeah, GG's the saltyphry here.
Yeah, well, 7th win in this group with 8 matches played. He's just destroying the competition here.
Yeah, he's in a really good spot in his group right now. And yeah, he'll be finishing up with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 58 minutes flat. So,
sub 2 old onions.
Yeah, that's definitely a good time. Wasn't even...
You know, sub 2 old onions pedestal, where they basically had to do everything.
I was just saying, it's not like sub 2 all dungeons as much as it was sub 2 all everything. He got to skip left side swamp and a couple chests in mire and some fetch quests. That was about it. But we'll see if he wants to come chit chat with us about his
He is in here with us.
And I think he's already here. GG, saltyphry.
Thank you.
Oh, that was a fun seed, right?
Yeah, that was interesting to say the least. That little gamble early on AGA 1 there, it didn't pay off, but it kind of did at the same time with that one little hint I got. Because that kind of immediately when I got those mitts in Swamp, I was never going back to the left-hand side, even if there was 3 items there. I was going directly to Ice Palace at that point in time to find out what that item was that was there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and yeah, even the early AGA 1 made sense. Your Light World was really unfortunate with like last location in your Dark World access. Schwarz had a little bit of a lead there, but yeah.
At least I got the hammer before the Moon Pearl, because if I got that Moon Pearl first, I certainly go do AGA and access to pretty much all the Dark World at that point in time. Who knows how long it is I go back to turn in the mushroom then, right? So
oh, yeah.
At least I went that way.
Yeah.
But like I went to AGA thinking like it was extremely unlikely that he was going to do that play. And like, even if it's wrong and I get nothing out of it, it costs me what, maybe 15-20 seconds in execution of doing it after Ganon, I figure. And if I'm right and say I pulled the Moon Pearl off the pyramid there, I'm way ahead right off the bat. So it seemed like a small gamble for a possible huge reward at that point in time.
No, you're absolutely right. It made a lot of sense. And I mean, didn't even really seem as much of a gamble in like an all dungeon C2. Like, you had to do it anyways.
Yeah, I kind of like these all dungeons seeds just for that reason. Like, you can make interesting gambles like that, whether it's doing Aga at certain points in time, like a lot earlier than you would without really any downside to it. Or then there's also the gamble of possibly going into GT looking for that item for one of those pendant dungeons as well. So there's a lot of weird gambles that you get to make that you never make in a normal open or standard run.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely awesome and awesome to watch too.
And Dark Aga isn't really one of those things that's really that hard with the Fire Rod. People always say how hard it is, but with the Fire Rod, it's pretty damn easy. I'm sure you kind of agree with that.
Yeah, as long as you know where those torches are, you're pretty much in a good spot. And
yeah, that's it. Like, if you don't have the Fire Rod, it's a totally different story. But I always say to people, if you can do the Dark Maze and Pod, I don't see how you can't do Dark Aga Tower with the Fire Rod.
Yeah.
It may simply come down to that it's not a very common thing to do the Dark Room offers in Pod. It's more
well, that's it.
common to
There's
see.
just not a whole lot of reason to do it in general, right? Like,
Yeah.
unless you're doing it for an item on Lumberjack, it's kind of a dumb reason most of the time in open or standard.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the thing that you get to see here with all of these added modes and different choices that you as a player can make to attempt to gain edges over the opposition in the groups.
Well, this is actually the third time now I've done Dark Aga in this tournament in 8 matches, so...
Wow.
That's pretty impressive, actually. Well, we were admiring your record in groups right now. You're, man, really in the driver's seat for, you know, not only just advancing to the round of 32, but having a really nice seed, if not, you know, just outright winning your group, you know, on top of that. You gotta be feeling pretty good about that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So far, everything's really gone top notch. Like, even the races where I haven't done quite so well, I've still seemed to kind of win somehow in some of them. So really, everything's kind of gone my way. Like, that's it. It's like I've kind of learned that over like this my third or fourth tournament now for Link to the Past. I've kind of learned just kind of keep doing your thing, and sometimes even when things aren't going that great, somehow you'll still win.
Yeah, it's always good when that happens too. it's a
Like,
really
it doesn't
good feeling.
it obviously doesn't always work out that way, but sometimes, like, I remember hard locking in Desert in 1 seed and feeling like I must be way behind at that point in time, and somehow I was still way ahead at that point in time.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean.
Well, you get your rematch here in just 1 hour, so gotta prepare for that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Key Sanity, and I don't do a lot of Key Sanity, so that'll be a little interesting.
Weren't you in the Key Sanity tournament? You did pretty well on it, if I recall, right?
No, I wasn't. I was not
You
in
weren't?
that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't really pick up Key Sanity until after that.
I was going over your, you know, your stats, your history and your timeline. I must have gotten that one wrong. You were definitely one of the top 8 in the summer tournament, though, right?
Yes, it was in top 8 in the summer tournament, top 16 in the spring tournament.
Okay, all right.
And
awesome.
then I was in the 32-man playoff in the last fall tournament.
So close yet so far.
It's just been a steady kind of, just steady rise of me getting slowly and slowly better, I guess. Kind of what it feels like. It's nice to see general progress as I go on.
Well, it's definitely noticeable in this group that you're just dominating at this point.
Well, you still have quite a few matches left to play in your groups, about half of them. Anybody you're particularly worried about, you know, given their skill set and variation, or any family-friendly trash talk you'd like to do on the air while we got you?
I'm not one to really trash talk at all. I think everyone in my group's pretty solid, so anyone could beat me on any given day, so I'm just going to kind of hope for the best. And now I'm at the point where we're kind of getting into the random setting, so who really knows what we could be getting? So we'll see how that works out for everyone. I don't really know what to expect out of some of that. The last couple of races I did were Randomizer. I hadn't really done a whole lot of them prior to that, but they both went pretty well overall. Aside from learning that you can't bomb jump in Ice Palace when there's flying enemies around, that was quite the lesson.
Wait, you had one of those?
Oh yeah, I lost about 10 minutes in one of my races because I was trying to bomb jump and couldn't figure out why I couldn't.
Wow, okay. That's really rare. That doesn't happen very often.
Is there any mode you don't want to see for yourself here in the group?
I generally prefer not swordless. I feel like I do a lot better as soon as I have a sword, but I'm pretty adaptable and I can kind of adapt to anything. I kind of feel like I've never actually done a retro seed, so I'm not necessarily looking forward to that, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be something that's going to be too hard just to kind of pick up on the go. I just got to make sure I pull up that map that's around somewhere that shows you where all the Take Any caves are and those things, because I'm not exactly sure where those are off the top of my head.
Well, I guess if anybody in Group E's listening, pick Swordless Retro versus saltyphry if you can. Outside of that, that looks like it might be your best option because he's been crushing everybody.
Well, I don't think we should keep you for too long here since you have another race coming up. So, any final words?
I'll just say thanks to you guys for commenting, thanks to the trackers, and thanks for the restream, and have a good day, and I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Yeah, good luck on your next race.
Thanks very much.
Meanwhile, we do see Ganon here again.
I know it's disappointing for you, Marge. You know, you only get to see one more creature die in this 2-hour run.
I'm not
but
you're bloody hell.
He's trying his best to do it. In fact, we'll just three more silvers until, you know, your thirst can be quenched.
It's not happening.
Ooh, almost got the double there. I thought he was going to get that. There, that's the last arrow. So GG to Swarz. We'll see if he will briefly want to talk to us as well, because again, he might want to be mentally preparing himself for match number 2. Which, yeah,
Swaps will not be joining us for an interview because he does not have a microphone, sadly.
Well, that's unfortunate.
But he will finish with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 54 seconds. And they will be setting up for the next match, which will be in about 50 minutes on this channel that you're currently watching. So, I don't know, just take a break, maybe go for a walk in wherever you live for like 30 minutes, and then come back with some food. Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Those options definitely work. What doesn't work is like doing something else. We got more rando to be watched. This race was already awesome. You can't miss the next one. I won't allow it. Everybody's got to stay and watch it.
Well, be sure to tune in 50 minutes. So for this one, I'd like to thank our tracker Holsetti for helping out behind the scenes. And be sure to follow all of our Twitch channels at SpeedGaming 1-6 and ALTTP Randomizer 1-5. With all said and done, I've been Marjevich.
Yeah, I'm Mac the Boker. Thank you guys. Have a good one.
See you all in 50 minutes.